Xiaomi's Fire TVs are getting bigger and bolder every year. Today we are talking about the 55-inch Xiaomi QLED FX Pro Series TV, which promises big screen flair without the flagship price tag. But how does it actually stand out from the crowd of affordable QLED TVs? And is it a better buy than other 55-inch Google TV options in the same price range? Let's break it all down in this review. For this FX Pro Fire TV, Xiaomi is using a basic VA LCD panel, but what stands out is that this panel has been tuned really well. Let's talk about the display panel quality first. We tested the display using Calman Ultimate software along with SpectraCal C6 HDR 2000 colorimeter and VideoForge Pro pattern generator. So this is a high contrast panel, and on a Nancy checkerboard pattern, we measured a contrast ratio of 5000:1. The advantage is particularly noticeable in dark scenes. We noticed the loss of luminance and shift in colors off-axis, which is to be expected with VA displays on affordable TVs. The panel uniformity is also about standard. We measured a peak brightness of around 350 nits in the accurate filmmaker mode. Most users will be using this TV in the standard mode, which goes up to approximately 400 nits bright. That's decent for indoor viewing and okay for casual HDR, though don't expect punchy highlights and bright HDR content. We measured around 91% DCI-P3 coverage and around 74% BT2020 coverage, which is about standard compared to most of the other affordable QLED TVs that we have tested. The TV supports 98% of Rec 709 color volume used in HDR content. The color volume for P3 space, which measures color performance at different luminance levels, measured at 77%, which is slightly above average. So overall, this is a high contrast but basic VA LCD panel that Xiaomi is using on the FX Pro. Now, as I mentioned, the panel has been tuned really well in the accurate filmmaker mode. But this picture mode option is not very easily accessible on Fire TV, which means most people will continue to use it in the default standard mode, which has overly blue tones. To switch modes, you have to long press the menu button and then simultaneously the home button. This will take you to a quick settings overlay on the right, and from here you can change the picture settings. The color accuracy is excellent in HDR. We recorded a delta error of just 1.4. However, you will get the best experience in dark ambience. In a well-lit room, we would recommend that you manually bump up the brightness. Skin tones in HDR are also extremely accurate. The dark HDR scenes are rendered nicely. In this challenging scene from The Revenant, there is no blue tint and dark details are also spot on. As for HDR, this TV doesn't support Dolby Vision. It does support HDR10+, which makes up in most cases. The color accuracy in HDR is again very tight. The TV overtracks the EOTF curve slightly, and for better accuracy, we turned the brightness down to 85. This reduces the average delta error to just 2, which is excellent. Bright HDR scenes do not pop due to limited brightness, but colors and skin tones are still very accurate. Filmmaker mode is the best option in HDR for purists, but if you find it too drab, the natural mode hits the middle ground between filmmaker mode and the dynamic mode. At times, the TV struggles with correctly displaying oversaturated tones. Dark HDR scenes are rendered rather nicely. This dark hallway in the Severance, for instance, is tough to get right for most affordable TVs. Dark details are also pretty impressive. In the filmmaker mode, motion-related artifacts are slightly more noticeable. This is not a problem in other modes where motion smoothing is enabled by default. Upscaling performance for legacy content is about average. The TV is powered by a quad-core processor, and when it comes to speed, Lumia Vision 7 remains the snappiest option in this segment. The Xiaomi FX Pro feels fairly standard in this regard, but at least you get 2GB RAM and 32GB of storage, which means the chances are that the performance will not degrade as much after a period of usage. The interface is Fire TV OS, and this is a very mature TV interface with support for all popular apps. It is also a little too pushy with Amazon's own content and services. Google TVs are obviously relatively unbiased and make it easier to discover content across different apps. The TV supports Apple AirPlay and Miracast for screen mirroring via Android and iOS devices. The TV also supports Matter casting, which is a new cross-platform casting standard. Voice commands are handled with Alexa that works really well for Indian accents. The integrated media player supports all popular audio and video formats, including AV1. On the gaming front, the performance was better than expected. We tested the TV with a PS5 and the experience was generally smooth. The DLG 120Hz feature on the 55-inch variant, while not true 120Hz, does help reduce input latency and motion blur in supported games in game mode. The experience won't match premium gaming monitors or high-end TVs, but for casual and even mid-core gamers, it holds up quite well. The audio experience on Xiaomi QLED FX Pro is one of its strong suits. Out of the box, the sound from its 34-watt speakers is rich and immersive. The dialogues are clear and overall loudness is sufficient even for mid-sized rooms. Xiaomi includes support for eARC, Dolby Audio, DTS Virtual X and DTS-X. which gives this TV an edge in terms of spatial audio performance. Coming to the design, the TV has a metal frame and narrow bezels. You will find both Xiaomi and Fire TV branding on the bottom bezel. The bundle stand is made of plastic. All the usual connectivity ports are present on the TV. These are towards the middle and will be a tad difficult to access once the TV is wall mounted. The bundle remote is unlike any Xiaomi or Fire TV remote that we have seen. This is a big one with full number pad. I like that there's a dedicated info button that lets me check the streaming resolution, frame rate and more. The Alexa button is not very accessible, close to the top, and input key is one noticeable omission. Overall, the Xiaomi QLED FX Pro 55-inch Fire TV doesn't drastically outperform its competition, but it manages to hold its own really well. TV offers a competent set of features for its price, and its strength lies in a well-tuned VA panel which is not very bright but still delivers good contrast and color accuracy in filmmaker mode. HDR performance is limited by peak brightness, but the color remains consistent for the most part. Audio performance and gaming experience are also pretty solid. For users looking for an affordable 55-inch QLED TV with accurate color tones and generally balanced performance, this model is definitely worth considering. So that was our review. If you liked it, hit the like button below and do hit the subscribe button below. It helps the channel. See you soon in the next one.